this is a guide on how to write the IB extended essay. So, what is the IB extended essay? It is a 4,000-word independent research paper that allows students to deeply explore a topic of their interest, and it is a core component of the IB diploma program and is graded on a scale from A to E. The EE contributes to the overall IB diploma score, so it's very essential for your course. And by writing an EE, students will develop critical research, writing, and analytical skills that are useful for a university. And the process includes selecting a research question, conducting thorough research, and then you organize findings and present a well-structured argument. So next is the IB structure and requirements. So the word limit is 4,000 words maximum, and the research question must be specific and approved by a supervisor. You must have at least 12 sources, and 6 must be academic. The citation style is APA, MLA, or subject-appropriate formats. And the structure often includes an introduction, body paragraphs, conclusion, and bibliography. And you must also have a supervisor for guidance and feedback on your extended essay as you make progress. So next we'll delve into creating the research question. So creating the research question is one of the most important steps in writing your extended essay. It forms the whole basis of your paper and the direction. So you should follow these guidelines. So for the research topic, you should pick a subject that you're passionate about and ensure that it's narrow enough for deep analysis. And you should avoid broad topics that lack focus and make sure that there are enough academic sources available for this research topic. So make sure that you can actually gather enough evidence from this topic. And the research question itself must be clear, focused, and researchable, and it should start with how, why, or to what extent. So an example is, to what extent did economic policies contribute to the Great Depression? And this aligns with IB subject areas, such as history, science, literature, etc. And yes, your research question must very clearly align with some subject area. So let's see some examples. What was the impact of Ho Chi Minh's allegiance to Lenin? And this is unclear and unfocused. And a more clear, focused research question is, to what extent was nationalism the guiding factor for Ho Chi Minh's adoption of Leninism in 1920? So we've narrowed it down, we've made it specific to nationalism, and we've also set a date, 1920. So in this way, we made it more focused. So next is the detailed structure of the extended essay. So it follows a very strict structure. Firstly, the title page is where you'll include the title of the essay or the research question and the subject area. And you can also provide the table of contents here, and this will label all parts of the essay, your headings and subheadings. And you should not write your name on the extended essay. You have to put your student code on the cover page. And maybe you don't have your student code yet, that's fine. You will definitely receive this later, but you should not put any form of identification on your extended essay. So next is writing the introduction. So here you introduce the topic and the research question, and you explain the significance of your topic, why is it relevant, and you outline the focus and scope of research that you are going to tackle. And then you also mention some key resources and provide an overview of the argument. So next, your body paragraphs. This will vary depending on the type of extended essay. And of course, biology body paragraphs would have, the methodology and then data and results and then discussion, whereas an English extended essay wouldn't have like the materials or the measurements or other aspects that you'd include in a scientific paper. So yeah, you have to differentiate between the different extended essays and what structures that entails. So when conducting research generally, you should use reliable academic sources such as journals, books, or reports, and you keep detailed notes and citations for referencing. So always keep track of all of your sources and just store them somewhere. And look for multiple perspectives on your topic. So don't just look at what sources agree with you. Also look at opposing opinions. And you can maintain a research log to track your sources and ideas. So just like a document where you'll just paste all of the links that you've visited and are planning to use. And the body of the essay should present a reasoned argument. And the form of this argument will vary with the subject, but it should always be clear how evidence was discovered and how it supports your argument. And that goes for all extended essays. So next is presenting research and evidence. So you should clearly present data, historical facts, or scientific findings. And you can use subheadings to organize information effectively. So avoid just dumping information. Every source should directly support your argument, so don't include irrelevant sources just for the sake of increasing word count or just because you visited that source and you want to include it. Make sure that it's actually relevant. And also make sure the reader understands where and how the evidence was found. So any important information should be included in the main body, not in the appendix or footnotes, because examiners will not assess extra materials. But if you do have additional words that you want to put in, you can put it in the appendix and perhaps refer to it in your extended essay and say you can refer to this section of the appendix. But yeah, use this very sparingly and just make sure the main information is in the body paragraphs. So continuing on, you should also be able to analyze your research. You interpret and evaluate the evidence collected. That forms like the bulk of your body paragraph content, and basically show how your research supports or challenges your thesis, and you'd compare different viewpoints and perspectives. So consistently, you should be thinking about your argument and use critical thinking to deeply engage with your sources and link them back to your argument. And an example could be for science-based essays, the analysis section would include breaking down the experimental results, while for history or literature essays, it would involve comparing sources and interpretations, among different literature critics. So next is you develop your argument, and the way you do this is by presenting a logical progression of ideas. So each point should build upon the last, and this is really crucial. Like you have to read over it and feel like you can guide the reader through your ideas, and link each paragraph back to the research question. At the end, in just one or two sentences, you can link this back to the research question. And you should also address the counter arguments and alternative perspectives. Why did this source agree with you or why not, and so on. And also use proper transitions to maintain coherence and clarity and improve the flow. And students, of course, should follow the conventions of their subject when structuring their arguments. Some subjects may require subheadings, while others honestly just focus on continuous argumentation, so you don't really need as many subheadings. So next is the conclusion, where you would summarize the key findings, address the research limitations, identify areas for future study, and reinforce how the research question was answered. So this is basically where you say, my research has shown this, and it agrees with these points, it disagrees with these points, and it contributes in this way. And you can, basically talk about the implications of your research. And my advice as an extra tip that you could do is you can link it to something more niche and leave some kind of open question that the examiner will think about, or some statement that the examiner will remember. And that's how you can basically differentiate your paper. And then for the bibliography, of course, as mentioned, use the proper citation style and only include sources used in the essay, and you should maintain consistency throughout the citation styles, and you can also use citation tools to avoid formatting errors. And yeah, that's basically it. And some final checks that you can do. There is an EE structure here available for free if you want to scan the QR code, or you could visit testace.net/EE. And it's a free detailed structure for you to be able to use. So I highly advise using it. There's a Google Docs for you, and it's just a nice little layout structure for you to begin with. And you can also have the final checklist. You go to testace.net/extended essay for the checklist, or you can scan the QR code, and you can basically just go over everything that you need, basically. So yeah, hopefully it's helpful to you. And some final tips for success. You should start early and create a timeline of deadlines, like when do you want to finish the introduction part, when do you want to start conducting research. Just these types of dates will help you stress less just from planning. And you should set dates to meet regularly with your supervisor as well, and stick to a structured research and writing plan. And yeah, just planning obviously will help you stay motivated by managing time more effectively. So lastly, just proofread dozens of times and just revise before submitting, and I'm sure you will do great. So yeah, if you want, you can visit testace.net for more IB resources, and like and comment with any questions that you have. So good luck with your extended essay, and I hope this was helpful.